So is Kevin coming today?
Yes.
Okay. Here's your journal. And Chris is in the bathroom. Now students, Gary, you were not here. Rebecca? 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. Yesterday, we talked about fire. And I asked the question, is fire a living thing?
No.
Well, let's look at the 4 attributes of all living things. What are the 4 attributes? I'll start. It grows. It needs food.
It reacts to change.
It reacts to change or it moves. It can reproduce. And what about food? Curtis, here's your name. And what about food? It needs food. Now, we could say the same thing about fire. It grows. It reproduces. Yes? Does fire need food? Well, it's eating these trees here, kind of. We could say fire is a living thing. You kind of could say that. But I ask you now, is fire a living thing?
No.
How do you know that? Now talk at your table. I want you three to talk about this. Think and talk. Alright? So think about it and pair with your partner to talk about how do you know fire is not a living thing? So Pam, talk with Paula and Tracy. How do you know fire is not a living thing? Okay, let's wait. Now I'm going to go to this group first here. Daniel, Tracy, Farron, and Rebecca. How do you think you know that fire is not a living thing? Fire does not have cells. What do you two think? Tanya and Curtis? How do you know fire is not a living thing? It can't reproduce. Okay? And this group. How do you know fire is not a living thing? A little bit louder. It does not need food. Okay. Well, Pam, today we're talking about cell theory. Okay? Now, a theory is an idea. And who can read the cell theory for us? Okay, Tanya?
All living things are made of cells. Either one cell or many different.
So can you think of something that is just one cell and living?
Virus.
Yeah, a virus. Can you think of something that's just one cell? Bacteria, virus, germs, algae, some algae.
Virus.
Yep.
Fungus.
Now, how do we know this is true? How do we know that all living things are made of cells? Yes? A little bit louder. Curtis, thank you. Curtis, quickly be quiet. Come in and sit. So, again, Daniel and Rebecca, how do we know that this is true? How can we know that all living things are made of cells? Microscope. That's good. Now, cells are very small. Can you see them with your eye? What can you see them with? A microscope. Now today, we are going to the lab. We are going to look at cells through a microscope. Now what we are doing, let me give you this. Here. A theory is an idea. I have the idea that all cells, all living things are made of cells. How do we test this? How do we know? How do we test a theory? Sure. conduct an investigation. Today, we will conduct an investigation in the lab. Okay? Now, before we go, does everyone have 8 circles in their science lab? Science journal? 6. Okay. Let's make 6. 6 is fine. Here you are.
That's
Okay.
all.
Kevin, do you need your science journal? Yes. Oh, you got it. Good. Okay. Now, there's one thing I want you to write next to one of your circles, and it's this word, phytoplankton. Phytoplankton. Can anyone spell it for me? Phytoplankton. Yes, good Daniel. T-O-N. Phytoplankton. One of the things we will look at today is phytoplankton, which is a small, one-celled organism that lives in water. This phytoplankton is from the lake, right over here. So, Kevin, we made groups. We have 3 groups. One person in the group will be the lab technician. I will show the lab technician how to use a microscope, and then Pam, Tanya, and Ferry will go to their group and teach their group the correct procedure for using a microscope. I'm going to show you how, and you're going to be great at it. Okay, Tanya? Christine, Ferry, Daniel, Rebecca. Okay, so students, we're going to head to the lab now. Let's all close our books. You can make your circles in the lab. Okay? Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's close our books and walk to the lab. Yes, you can. And I have more pencils if you would like that. So come inside the lab. This is our area with 4 microscopes. We have microscope 1, and here are 3 more microscopes. Okay? So stay here. Please don't walk in other parts of the laboratory. Now first, take the cover off the microscope and plug it in. There's a plug right here. Here on the wall, you can see it. Okay, then we put the switch for the light on. Not yet, you can't. Not yet. Oh, here. Excuse me. There you go. Okay. Next, someone fix this microscope. Pull the top off. Pull the cover off. Plug it into the wall. Go like this. Okay, so students, now let's have our lab technicians come over to my microscope here. Ferry and Tanya and Pam. Okay? So guys, here, I'm going to plug in mine and I'm going to teach you how to use the microscope. Here I have, guys, here are 8 slides. And we're going to take the slide for hair. Okay? Students, on the slides, I labeled what each slide is. So under your circle, I want you to write for this slide, hair. Okay, you will put it in the microscope. Look in. Your lab tech will teach you how to find it in the eyepiece and draw what you see. So let's take this slide, guys. Tanya, I'm going to show you, and after I show you, I want you to go with your group to your microscope and show your group how to use it. Okay? Turn on the microscope. lowers, this is called the platform. Lower the platform up and down. Okay? It will not break. It cannot break. This is unbreakable. So here, lower to the lower setting. Use the blue. Do you see the blue lens?
Yes.
That one's perfect. All you have to do is, okay, pull this arm, put the slide in the square just like that. See? Let the arm go. It slides in there. I'll show you. So this big knob here, you can see it very. You can see there's two knobs. There's a big one and a small one. Push the big one so it's all the way up. Okay? Wait, I'm sorry. I did it wrong. Put to the yellow. Go to the yellow levels. Put it all the way up. See, it's as far as it will go. Now, look through, and I'm going to have to do it one time so I can see what's happening. These two knobs here move the slide back and forth. Okay, and you can look at it this way and this way. Left and right, back and forth. Look with your eyes and see where the object is. I can see there's a hair right in the middle. And then we look through here and move it down until the hair comes into view. Okay. So look through there. I will take a picture. Okay? So I'm going to let you guys practice now. I'm going to let you guys practice. Okay, look, I'm moving it away. Now, let's have Curtis. Not yet. Your lab tech will teach you, okay? Let's have Fairy. Use this big knob here. Turn the big knob. You look through the lens. Turn it until you see the hairs. Move it slowly. The big one. Only the big one. Yep. Turn it. You can only move it one way. Did you get the brown hairs in there? Did you get the brown hairs? A little bit. Okay. Now, they're a little bit blurry. Yep, they're a little bit blurry. Now use the small knob. This is called fine twist. Use the small knob. You can spin it a lot until it comes right into view. And I'll have you turn it until they're in focus. Bring it. Okay. Now look through. Move the knob slowly until the cells come into view. Would you like me to help you find it? Yeah, move it there. Let me take a look at it. You have to get it. There you go. Those are onion cells. So what I did for this slide is, Kevin, look, I took a piece of this onion right here, like this, and I put it on the slide and put a cover slip on. And what you're looking at through there are the cells of the onion, this. So look through there and you can see there are millions and millions of cells. Look at the slide. Beautiful. And do you see cells in the hair? No, there are no cells in the hair. Okay, everyone. So we have our notebooks, we have our observations, and we conducted our investigation to see that living things are made of cells. We looked at living and non-living things. Thank you, Kevin. Oh, wait. Kevin, will you help me cover the clarification? It's time to come to the tables. 1, 2, 3. Eyes on me. 1, 2, eyes on you. Did you enjoy your trip to the lab? Okay, good. Well, we conducted the next investigation to obtain observations of cells in living things. Under each observation, I see you have very good observations. Curtis has drawn beautiful cells. I want you to write a sentence like this. So, onion is a living thing because, now notice I have is not. So if we were talking about the seashell, okay, the seashell, we might say seashell is not a living thing because it is not made of cells. So yeah? I think it would be best to write it with your observation, so with the picture. So here, Kevin, you could write in here, an onion is a living thing because it is made of cells. Okay, and let's do this for each observation. Because it is made of cells. That's perfect. Okay. And now, because we're limited with time, you can choose one non-living thing and write like seashell. Seashell is not a living thing because it is not made of cells. We looked in the microscope, we made an observation that seashells definitely do not have cells. Let's choose one non-living thing. Well, we can see that the biggest sentence is living. It's actually one cell. Would you guys like to take it to somewhere? Yeah, because it is time to go.